also have the privilege of hearing prepared speeches. So let's turn our attention to speaker number one. Before we do that, Heather, would you please share his objectives? We have to unmute. Okay, thank you.
Yep, there
Yes,
we go. Okay.
very good.
All right. So Al's speech today is, the title is Optimism and the Future. He is writing a speech with a purpose. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The length is 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Heather. And we look forward to hearing your evaluation during that time as well. Al Flores, Optimism and the Future. Optimism and the Future, Al Flores.
Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. When you see that graphic of a glass that is filled halfway, what comes to mind? Think about that. What is it? I want to talk to you about optimism and the fact that optimism has nothing to do with just being happy-go-lucky and, nothing is wrong. Nor is it the ability to just look at the positive things in life. I want to tell you, fellow Toastmasters and guests, that this past weekend, I happened to be lucky enough to take a long trip, 5-day trip to Long Island, Connecticut, and New York. The country, not the cities, not the big conglomeration of folks and buildings. And what I found, I started thinking, I thought it was a long flight, 3.5 hours long flight. So obviously I wasn't going to be looking at people because it's not real nice to stare at people in planes. But what I was thinking of is what happens when people start thinking what's going to happen? Or what happens when people start thinking too much about what already happened? And believe it or not, I started making little notes. It was an late flight actually going up, real early flight coming back. My early flight got off LaGuardia at 6:30 in the morning. So I needed to do something still. I found out, come up with 5 points that got me thinking that it is possible to be a little bit more human person, a participant in life, if, number one, you ask for help if you ever need it, and offer help if you ever have the ability, and somebody asks you to do. The reason why is just human, to get along with folks and to be of service to people. I had second thought, and that is, whenever something happens in life, we sometimes tend to ignore it because it doesn't affect us and it's too far away, but actually we need to start thinking of feeling everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the abuse from people at TSA or the Transportation Service Authority, or people talking to each other in a negative way, or people happy and just enjoying themselves. So, number 3 thought that I had was, many people avoid having difficult conversations. Difficult conversations, we can take it any way you want. What is our best example is politicians. They don't want to deal with the problem, so they give you everything else but the problem and offer you all the answers except the answers to the problem. Think about that one. Something that we must channel, because I wrote as a number 1 point for me is we need to live our lives by embracing what already happened and what's coming up. You know, life is nothing without past because we learn from the past. If we're smart enough, okay, we remember what happened, and if it was a bad thing, we won't repeat it. So if it was a wonderful thing, we try to replicate it and do it over and over again and look successful and fantastic and smart and other stuff. So that is point number 4. Now, there was a thing that always had nagged at me, and it came back to me a lot, and that is, we really, in order to enjoy life, need to be people who embrace and actually put into the works gratitude. Gratitude for anything that ever happened to us that was positive. Gratitude for everything that happened to us that was negative and we learned from. Okay. And also to make ourselves available to others, because gratitude comes from humbling yourself, to being grateful, to being accepted. And also comes from forcing yourself sometimes when people say, I see you're in trouble. Let me help. Let me offer you what I know. You take it, leave it, it's up to you. But it is there. Now, I think many times whenever we go into this kind of illusional, creative writing, that we begin to say, well, what is it worth it for anybody to hear this? And folks, that is what I came up with while I was traveling. That was what I was thinking while I was traveling. And what I want you to do is I want you to take those words that I just mentioned, put them to work, give them a shot, and see what happens. Let's close.